So here's an example of a burn case. So this is chapter 16, extra practice question number 57. All right, so scroll down here and see what we got. Okay, so we have a lady who has splatter burns, back of her right hand, right cheek, deep frying fresh shrimp for a dinner party in her home in the kitchen, and the grease splattered. So that other case we talked about, it said deep frying. We weren't really sure whether it was from the oil or from the heat, and we had to kind of guess it was from the oil. So in this case, it is saying deep frying shrimp and the grease splattered. So we know the burn in this case is from the grease or the hot oil. Okay, so we have second-degree burns to the back of the hand and to the face. All right, so since these are not going to be in the same body area, we're going to have two codes for the burns. Okay, so our first one is going to be a burn to the back of the hand. Okay, so go to your index, your regular index, go to burn, then go to hand, and then under hand, the first indentation says back. See burn, comma, dorsum of hand. All right, so go back to burn, go back to your first indentation of dorsum of hand. All right, and so we have second degree on the right hand. All right, so let's scroll down to right, second, and we get to T23.261. So let's go there. Keep your hands there because this cheek burn is going to be in about the same place, okay? So T23.261, burn of second degree of back of right hand. All right, so we have to have a seventh character. So go back to the beginning at T23, and our choices are A, D, and S. Okay, so in this case, it says she's coming in and it was dressed. So we kind of got to imply here that because it doesn't say that she's come back or it's a late effect, that this is the first time she's being seen and it's just happened. So it's going to be an A. So our secondary burn of the back of the right hand is T23.261A. Now we got to do a code for the burn of the cheek. So this says face, but up here it specifically says cheek. So let's go to burn. Okay. And you can go to face, and then it's going to take you to head, and et cetera, et cetera. But if you look at burn and then do the first indentation as cheek, there is a code for a burn to the cheek, second degree, T20.26. Okay. So I did that rather than do the head and all that good stuff. So T20.26. And you'll see it says burn of second degree of forehead and cheek. We got to have 7 characters. Okay. So we go back to T20. We get the same A, D, and S options. So because we only have 5 characters, we've got to put a placeholder of T20.26XA. And then if you look under there, under the T20.2, it says use additional external cause codes to identify source, place, and intent. Okay, so it's telling us we got to go to our external cause codes. Also, go back to the right above T20, and it tells us use additional code from category T31 or 32 to identify the extent of body surface involved. So anytime you have a burn, you have to have a T31 code. even if it's minimal percentage, body percentage. You have to have a T31 code, all right? So you can look that up. If you go back to your index, look up burn and look up extent. Burn, then extent. And then you'll see all of that. It'll say, in extent, it'll say percentage of body surface. Okay. So what if we don't know? What if we don't remember those rules of the nines and that picture of the body? We don't know what, how to figure out the percent. We don't know the percent as we're looking up in this index, okay? Then my suggestion is go straight to T31, okay? Because you know it's going to be something with T31. And then let's just start there and figure it out, okay? So at T31, it says burns classified according to extent of body surface involved. And then it gives you the picture of the rule of the nines. Okay? So in this case, we've got a right cheek and a right back of the hand. Okay? So we've got one side. So the whole face is 9%, and the whole arm is 9%. So we don't have, we know it's probably, so just guessing, we probably know the cheek is, let's say, a third of that 9%, right? So you have two cheeks and a forehead, say. So that's 3%. And then say your arm, your whole arm is 9%. Well, a fourth of your arm is, what, 2%? So 3 and 2 is less than 10. That's all we really need to know, right? We don't need to know the exact number. Because if we look at T31.0, it says burns involving less than 10% of the body surface. Okay? So that's what we're going to have, is we're going to have T31.0. All right? So now let's do external cause codes. So go to your external cause code index. So our first external cause is, what was the cause of the burn? So in this case, it's contact with hot oil. So go to external cause, look up contact. Okay. Contact with hot. And then if you look under hot, there is you scroll down, it says contact with hot, then there's an indentation for oil. And then in parentheses it says cooking, X10.2. So let's go there. So X10.2. Contact with fats and cooking oils. And so that's correct because it says the grease splattered her. Okay? So look right above that, we got to have a seventh character. We only have 4. Right? So in this case, it's going to be X10.2, X, X, and then the A. Okay? So now we got to say place. So go to external cause, look up place of occurrence, and we're going to look up residence because it says that she was in her home in the kitchen. Okay? So we're going to look up so place of occurrence, residence, and then you'll see it says house, single family, and then it lists several rooms. And so in this case, it's going to be the kitchen, which is Y92.010. Okay? So let's go to Y92. 0.10. Y9.10. And it says kitchen of a single family, parentheses, private house. Okay? So, as I talked about in the last video, go back to where it says excludes one. So if she lived in a mobile home, you can't code those two together. It's one or the other. So in this case, it says she was doing a dinner party at her home. So we just kind of have to, again, imply it was a single family house. Okay? The next one is our activity. So go to activity under external cause and look at cooking, because that's what she was doing. It's going to be listed as cooking or baking. So you are led to activity, cooking, and baking, Y93.G3. So let's flip over there. Y93G3. Activity of cooking or baking. Okay. Because in this case, it says she was deep frying shrimp. Because if you look right under there, it says use of stove, oven, and microwave oven. Even though it doesn't specifically say she's deep frying on the stove, again, you kind of have to imply that. So Y93.G3, and it only needs 5 characters, so you've got that. And then your last one is the status of leisure activity. Okay, because it says that she's at home and she's cooking for a dinner party. So that implies that it's a leisure, it's not a work-related activity. So that then your fifth one is going to be Y99.8.